Today we're looking at the 5 hardest freerunning tricks ever done in the history of the sport. So the most twists or rotations with the highest consequence and with the smallest number of athletes who've been able to do it. The absolute pinnacle of what freerunners are capable of, with the focus being on the difficulty of the trick itself and not the obstacles it was done on. So before I get 100 comments telling me to add Leon25, in the context of this video, Leon25 is just one front flip. The first trick on this list completely blew my mind when I saw it. I actually thought it was fake until I watched it like 20 times. He sprints across the road, steps on a bunch of dirt before ripping 2 whole flips and somehow landing on his feet. The consequences of something going wrong here were so high, but he nailed it. World's first step up double palm flip. So a single palm flip is like a beginner to intermediate trick, and then when you add the step up in there and the risk of slipping, it becomes intermediate to advanced. But to be able to pull off 2 flips in the time that most people can just get around for one, it's basically impossible. Ilya actually ended up winning the 2021 Stora Banger Award for another clip where he did that same move in a line. He trains out of Tehran, where they are training a different breed of freerunner. I actually met an Iranian parkour coach who came to London and told me that they have 50 parkour gyms in Tehran. That is the most of any city in the world by far. You can expect big things from these guys moving forward. And to this day, I haven't seen anyone else do that trick outside. I mean, Ellis probably could, but we'll get to him later. The next trick comes from the Italian bull-sending psychopath Cialvolotaro. It's hard to put into context just how insane this is. Round off double back on flat is already an extremely advanced move, and no one has even attempted round off triple back outside, despite this video, which makes a fairly convincing case that some people could. Now, Cialvo doesn't have the same insane power as some of those guys, but he certainly has the mindset. So he found a nice platform with a drop onto sand, and boom! World first. And I'm so happy it was Cialvo who did it first, because he trained so damn hard. He's attempted to qualify for Red Bull Art of Motion multiple times and just fallen short, but he never let that discourage him. On the contrary, he was sending some crazy stuff at the after party. The next clip on this list is from another crazy Italian, who of course trains with Cialvo, as you can see from this insane game of scissor, paper, rock.
Bello.
Now, many freerunners have attempted to conquer this next trick over the years, but Fausto Vicari is the only one who's ever managed to pull it off. Oh mio Dio! Now that is how you do a triple side flip. He takes a kicker at least 4 meters of height and then just absolutely sends it. He did this during the last Red Bull Art of Motion in Astypalea, Greece in 2022. In fact, he wasn't even competing in the event. However, he created the most iconic moment by far. Now, double side flip has actually become a fairly common trick that thousands of freerunners can do, and a couple have even done on flat. But there's something about rotating sideways that creates a drop-off in rotation speed after the first 2 flips. Compared to a back flip or a front flip, you need a lot more height and effort to get around for that third rotation. Although it is somewhat safer to try because your head and neck aren't exposed to as much danger. So if you don't make it all the way around on the third rotation, you can usually take the hit to your side. Fausto attempted this trick 7 times across 3 years, and he even slammed on his first attempt in Astypalea. But he got up, did it again, and made history. The next trick on this list is definitely the most complex, and still has yet to be replicated after almost 6 years. 360 dive Congainer full. Let me break down why this is one of the most difficult tricks ever done. Congainer is already a very dangerous and advanced movement that only high-level freerunners can execute. In fact, it was originally a gymnastics move invented in 1994, but it was quickly banned from gymnastics because of the high risk of hitting your head. Anyway, instead of going straight into a tuck like a normal Congainer, he stays open and wraps for a full twist, meaning he's doing a full twist and a backwards rotation at the same time. The Congainer full on its own has only been done by a handful of athletes, but the icing on the cake that makes this so insane is that he does a 360 dive before he even reaches the wall. It's hard to explain just how much difficulty this adds. If anything goes wrong with the 360 dive, he could hit his knees, be sent off axis, or any number of outcomes could send him straight to his neck from that insane height. Oh shit! But of course, he practiced the skill, executed it perfectly, and pulled off one of the hardest moves ever, which was also way ahead of its time. However, some people would argue that Travis Verkaeke's double congainer from 2018 actually tops this. Now, I tend to disagree, but what do I know? I can't even congainer. So we're gonna have a look at both.
You fucking dumb! What?
I mean, that was pretty gnarly. And it's worth noting that Travis was only 15 when he did this. So if that's a factor being considered, then maybe this takes the cake. There's actually a bit of a funny story between these two, which isn't really my place to go into, but basically, Kalen wasn't too happy that Travis beat him to doing the double congainer. Although to be fair to Kalen, he did go back to that same spot 4 years later and do it himself.
I was able to overcome probably the biggest mental challenge that I had ever faced in parkour that had been haunting me for over 6 years.
Yes! Yeah! Let's go! Woo! Woo! I did it!
Of course, a few more people have done double congainer since Travis, including the consensus greatest freerunner of our generation, Ellis Torho.
Yeah!
Who also happens to be responsible for the final clip on our list, a world first to hard floor, which he did during the final of a competition.
We ready for Ellis? Gain our precision to start the run. Oh my god. Huge swing. Swing precision to side flip.
There is not a single person on earth that could have beaten that run. And the uncompromising ambition of Ellis to want to do this move on hard floor for the first time in the finals of a major competition and risk it all. What more could you ask for in an athlete? What's even more impressive is that this was the second time that he attempted to do this in a competition final. After qualifying in Hiroshima with a perfect run, he risked it all in a final that he probably could have won without the triple.
Shit, he actually did it.
And his hand slipped. It happens. So he waited 10 months for the next competition, and he did it again. Now, a few other freerunners have done swing triple outside, and most recently Jared Nahulu, who finally stomped his dream trick after 8 years of working up to it.
Oh my god!
But no one else has done it to hard floor, and Ellis flexed on them by adding a whole other twist and doing full in dub back on sand.
Yeah! Let's go! Baby! Yeah! Fuck yes! Yes, baby!
So what's next for freerunning? Have we reached the maximum rotations one can flip? Well, I personally think that Ellis is going to do quad flyaway someday. And if my tall, slow rotating ass can do a double front flip, surely someone can do a triple. I mean, Z's already done it off a trampoline to sand, so give him a bit of height and a nice kicker and my money's on him. And aside from maxing out twists and rotations, the sport of freerunning is still progressing extremely quickly and new moves are being invented every month. Just look at the stuff that Veiga Hoekstra is doing at only 17 years of age. Things are only gonna get crazier. Anyway, thanks for watching, please subscribe if you enjoyed it, and on my 5 jumps video, there were actually very few people disagreeing with me in the comments, which was quite disappointing. So jump in there, tell me what you think should have been on the list, and I will pin the comment of the best trick that didn't make the video. Also, let me know what lists or topics you would like me to cover in a video, and until next time, cheers.
mad and savage, and me back and I'm back and it happening, ready to blow. I remember doing deeds with Deji from the street, they left me on my own. Mom kept asking me about how I got the P, I told her leave it, mum and grow. Then they're ringing off my phone, then they're ringing off my phone.